Hey guys, in this week's video I'm going to teach you how to start up the VRT for the first time and get started controlling your first ever simulated robot. Alright, so here we are. I've opened up the VRT software to the first menu here. Hopefully by now you've at least downloaded the free trial version of the VRT software so you can follow along as I show you how to get started with driving around your first virtual robot. After you start the VRT software, it's going to load for about a minute. It might take a longer or shorter amount of time depending on how powerful your computer is. But after it's done loading, you're going to come to this menu right here, where it gives you all of the different challenges and environments that you can try out in order to test your virtual skills. And like I said, there are different sample environments that you have here, and you can even make your own. But for now I'm just going to show you the basics. So we're going to come over here to Sim Basics and we're going to open up the Getting Started environment. You could just name it whatever you want, hit OK. Now this dialog only comes up for me because I've already opened and saved a version of Getting Started, but this shouldn't come up for you if this is your first time opening it. So I'm just going to open up the Getting Started, and all this really is just a simple robot in an empty room. And now I'll go through each of the different aspects. We have a few menus that come up, mainly on the right hand side here. There's the objects menu, which there are only two objects: your empty room, which is your environment, and the default EV3 educator vehicle. There's also two menus that come up here: the scoreboard, which keeps track of time and score if you are in a challenge, but won't really do anything since we're in an empty room right here, and the EV3, which mimics a real EV3 brick. So if you were to press this button, it would turn on and you can download programs and run them, which is something I'll be explaining in a future tutorial. Over here we have things like camera controls, where we can set the camera to various settings. So we have the look at camera, which will keep the camera at a static point and follow the robot as it drives around as if a person were standing and looking at the robot. We have follow, which will keep it at a certain point, like behind the robot, and then tether, which is another camera setting. It says camera will move with the target object but won't change its orientation. Now of course we want to actually drive this robot, so we're going to come up here and press the play button to start the simulation. You'll see the green bar at the top will appear to tell us that we're live. By default we have these keyboard commands here, where W drives our robot forward, S drives it in reverse, D makes it make a tank turn to the right, and A makes a tank turn to the left. And we could just drive around like this for a little bit, and we can have our fun. And like I said, this is the default robot. Later I'm going to show you how you can add your own robots in using the import robot dialog. So we can stop this. If you want to keep the robot where it is, click pause and it will stay where you've left it. Otherwise, if you hit stop, it's going to return everything back to default. Now, like I said, I mentioned the import robot, which that's going to be in a future tutorial. You can also adjust the camera here. So using the right click and Alt is the truck camera, which will kind of just drive around as if you're in a car. Control and right click will allow you to pan, and then just right click allows you to rotate around the point that you already are, called the look camera. So those are just the basic camera controls, and I believe that just about covers the basics. Of course there are other settings that you can run through, and those start to get pretty low level, but for now this is really all you need to know to get started. And of course at any point in time, if you get help, they have some documentation and a help wizard that can help you through the process. So that's the basics of starting up with the VRT. The Virtual Robotics Toolkit, or VRT, is a computer simulation software made by a company called Cognition Robotics that allows you to build and program your very own robot and go through all of the steps of prototyping a robot without ever needing a physical one. If you would like to learn more about this software, please click the link and go to my website, and I'll have a full written description of the software and a link on where you could purchase the software as well as get a discount. Thanks for watching my tutorial this week. If you found it helpful, be sure to subscribe for more tutorials like this every week, and if you have an idea for a tutorial, be sure to submit it in the comments section below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.